Go live here shortly. All right, we're live. All right, welcome back to Real Cast Fishing. In this case, we're going to be doing a little what worked for us trout fishing the Blue River. In other words, this is more of a Q&A piece that I would just want to get out to folks about, some of the things that worked for yours truly fishing the Blue River up in Oklahoma. Specifically using ultralight bait casting gear, and it looks like it's no one's on right now, so I'm just going to hold for now and stand by for some folks to join, and then I'll kick off things. So I think I'm going to go ahead and throw in the video so y'all can see what's going on. Okay. All right.
Oh, it's a nice size one. All right, first fish of the day on a silver super duper. Got to remember to have your tag that has your customer ID or your license number on there. We'll just put it over there because you can't share stringers, and we'll just kind of let them sit there while we go back and do some more fishing out here.
All right, I'm just kind of running the video right now so that while we wait for other folks to join. But bottom line, this is a fishing Q&A session about ultralight bait casting for Blue River trout. And I'm specifically talking the Blue River up in Oklahoma, which is going to get stocked here at the end of, at the beginning of November.
All right, let's try copper.
All right. So we'll just kind of let things kind of cycle through and see if we got some folks joining. Okay, it looks like we got at least one person on. Howdy, howdy. A little shout out to whoever may be out there. What I'd like to do is just start walking you through what we have here. Okay. Let me shift the video. Let's bring down the volume. Okay. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying out different lures. This is the Super Duper at the Blue River. Previously, I'd been fishing some other lures. In fact, I believe it was the inline spinners, rooster tails, and whatnot. But then it turned out Super Dupers was working. In this case, I'm working a particular location just off the low water crossing over there at the Blue River. Okay. Alrighty. So here I'll just pause for now. Okay. All right. Looks like we got some folks joining. Howdy, howdy. I'm Glenn with the Real Cast Fishing Podcast. And supporting our channel is the City of Allen Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team on YouTube. And here we're just talking about some Q&A about ultralight bait casting for trout, in particular the Blue River in Oklahoma. And some of the things that I'd like you to take away is when you are fishing the Blue River in particular, there's several things you want to keep in your back pocket. Water gets very clear, so I'd say bring some polarized glasses. And if you're going to be able to do any wading, it's a lot easier to access some of these locations if you are bringing some wading gear. And if you do, make sure you have some, like a wading stick, as well as I'd say some cleats or spikes on your wading boots. But here, I'm going to go ahead and just take you to the video. Okay, this is about 3-4 years ago when I went up to the Blue River. You can see how clear the water is. And the key takeaway here is I'm using a Super Duper. And what was the key thing with this one is I was shifting different colors to finally get the color they wanted. So I tried gold, I tried copper, I tried silver. And they seemed to kind of stick with the gold versus the copper. I did try some rooster tails, had some good hits there. Fire tiger, the yellow, the white, those were working. But later on, the Super Duper came into play. And you can see the water's fairly clear. It's not flowing that much. In this case, I'm on the bank instead of in the river itself fishing. But because I have those polarized glasses, I'm able to see the reaction of the trout as he comes in and tries for my lure. Okay, the gear that I'm using, it's a ultralight bait caster.
All right.
the Shimano Scorpion BFS XG,
Oh, is it the gold one?
and
All right, cool.
the rod is the yellow fiberglass one that I picked up from Bass Pro Shops, the Ultralight. Yeah, Ultralight Baitcaster.
Gold Super Duper.
You get them for like 25 bucks. I think they're still going for that amount. Anyhow, right here, my fishing buddy is using some ultralight spinning gear. He's using Super Dupers as well as some inline spinners. And here we're just north of the low water crossing, and we're just kind of working this area. This area has some deep holes, pockets, some rocks and whatnot, but if you focus with your polarized glasses, you'll be able to see where they're lurking. Okay. And you can see this case, this is a gold Super Duper, but with the prism on it, the little prism kind of surface deal that's on there. All right. Okay. All right. And then if you saw in this particular strike, you can look at the rod, and it will, the indication of the strike, you'll just kind of see it clip through. Monkeys, hi, how's it going? We're just talking a little ultralight bait casting at one of our favorite rivers up in Blue River in Oklahoma.
It's easy to get to if you go by the water.
And I'm really just opening up for any questions. I got the video running in case you see anything that you want to call out, maybe ask some questions about. And then additionally, if you see something that you feel that I need a little more explanation. But again, I'm using Ultralight Baitcaster, BFS, Bait Finesse Systems gear, and I'm using the Super Duper most of the time in this case. And in this case, I'm using this Baitcaster. It can handle these really ultralight lures with no problem. All right, and here I'm just going to show you a demo of how I am fishing that Super Duper. Okay, it's a slow retrieve, and I could see with my glasses these pockets and holes and swirls when the trout is moving about. And right there, I'm setting the hook. It's good stuff. All right. Yeah, I was using the 502 size. Okay. I do have some wading boots on and wading pants, and I do have cleats on because it does get really slippery up there.
Copper Super Duper 502, bigger size.
Okay. So copper Super Duper. So I kind of switched things. Gold, copper. There was one year that they wanted a rainbow that was the more consistent lure in particular. All right. So anyone in the local area, we're over here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just north of Dallas, and we're about maybe an hour and a half from the Blue River up in Oklahoma, which is going to be stocked here shortly, be at the end of the month into the beginning of November. And it's a beautiful place. You do have to have a fishing license and some key things. You do have to make sure that you don't share stringers. So both of you should have your own separate stringer. And on there, you have your name and your customer number that is on your fishing license. Okay, so hopefully that was able to trigger some. Let's see if I can switch over here. Oh man, I'm in a commercial. Bear with me here. Okay, here, let me switch it out. See if I can get another video of one of our trips to the Blue River. Okay. Let's see. This is 11 years ago, where I was fishing a particular location. I think I was just using a little 3-weight fishing fly or fly rod. But I think you guys want to see stuff about the Blue River itself. So let me just switch over. Well, let's go ahead and show you. Okay. Bring up the video. Bear with me. Okay, let's go ahead and start it. All right, let me up the volume. Okay. All right, so here I am using some fishing flies and fly fishing gear. You can see I'm catching. Here is where you'll see a lot of these pockets and rocks and whatnot where they're lurking. Some holes. It's fairly shallow here, maybe 3 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet. Not very deep at all. But they do congregate here. And when you have your polarized glasses, you'll definitely be able to have a good idea where they're at. And what I'm doing here is I'm just working the fly. I'm just kind of drifting, making sure I have a driftless retrieve or no drag retrieve, and letting that particular fly just kind of get through that particular location into the hole. In this case, I was using a woolly bugger. And do shout out if you have any questions. Again, this is the Blue River up in Oklahoma. It's going to get stocked with trout here in the next few weeks. And I suggest if you're in the area here in the North Texas, if not Oklahoma area, you give that location a try. It'll be definitely a fun time. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and shift that one again. I'm going to go ahead and shift and see if I can find another video for you from one of our past trips. That one was about 11 years ago, so yeah, been a while. Okay. But I think I can switch over, but I don't know. Let's just stick with the ultralight bait casting theme. I know, let's see, right here. Well, let's go over here. We'll talk about Blue River and places to fish. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, it's got a commercial. Bear with me. All right, once the commercial ends, I'll flip it over and you'll be able to see the video I'm referring to. Okay, let's switch over.
All right, welcome back to COAF Field Team, City Baitland Fishing Field Team. I'm
Well, that's
Glenn,
weird.
And this time we're going to be talking
I don't know
about,
what that was.
well, learn to fish by our trials and errors. And over the years, we've had some trials, we've had some errors, specifically in a particular area that we like to fish. So this particular area is the Blue River in Oklahoma. And this time of year, we typically get a lot of questions, and hopefully we can answer them using this particular video to explain about the Blue River and some fishing places to keep in mind. So we're talking about the Blue River this round, but just for those that haven't joined us before, we are the City Baitland Fishing Field Team. COAF Field Team is our YouTube channel, where we try to learn to fish by our trials and errors. In particular, we'll do it through fishing videos, fishing related things, adjusting to the current season, doing some lessons learned from current conditions and whatnot. So you can see us on YouTube, you can see us on Facebook. We got an Instagram piece as well, Instagram account, so you can see some of the pictures that we post as well. Okay, so from this round, we're talking about lessons learned. We typically use this format this time, so this is what we did, how we got there, some fishing things, some ouches, keep in mind, as well as next time, what we'll do next time, as well as what we might do and what we're not going to do. So that's kind of the format that we've been using for these types of videos. In this particular video, we're going to actually be talking about getting there. In this case, getting to the Blue River and some of those particular areas to fish, or at least some suggested areas to fish. Okay, so we made this infographic piece. We found that videos are nice, but also some pictures and words and whatnot. And so we made this one infographic information slide. We'll put that in our website, stockandtroutfishing.com, as well as there'll be a link there so you can take a look at it. But this is the Blue River in Tishomingo, Oklahoma, pretty close to the area. And in the middle is just the green. You'll see some where the Blue River proper is, where you can actually fish, and it's public access. And then some different areas within that area, or within the Blue River area that we like to fish. And just to break it out, to make it a little bit simpler, we've got an area that's north of Highway 7, an area that's south of Highway 7, and then an area we're calling Desperado Springs because it's just marked on the map as Desperado Springs, so we'll just use that as a reference point. And then Hughes Crossing, very popular area. That's another one that we'll use as a reference point when we go into more detail as to some of these things to keep in mind. Also in the infographic, you'll just see some little bits of suggestions or thoughts on those particular areas, a little brief description of the Blue River, and then some links. I'm not sure we're going to be able to put the links, but we'll have links in our the comment section of this video, as well as in the infographic, or what we post on our webpage. Actually, this is going to be the catch and release information, or some videos that we posted in the catch and release area. Blue River fishing playlist, some past trips. You can actually see what we've done in these different areas. And then finally, there's a hub page article that we posted several years back, just some particulars on fishing the Hughes Crossing area. Okay, so let's talk north of Highway 7. So you've got the Highway 7 here, and above it is north of Highway 7. And in green is just an outline of some of the where the river is. This area in circled area, that's the catch and release area. And then in yellow, you'll see basically these are trails where you can work your way to the given area. All right, and so notice this one's way out here, but this is actually the most easiest one to get access to the catch and release area. It's more of a direct route versus if you follow these, it'll take a little bit longer as you're following the river proper. Right. Definitely like the catch and release area. There's 3 parking areas. There'll be one over here to the west. There'll be one just west of the river itself, and then just one east of the river itself. Also, there's a little parking area that'll come down south of Highway 7 that gives you access to the river as well. All right. So what we noticed about this area, got the catch and release area. That's always good. 3 parking areas, so there's ample parking, lots of trails so you can access the river, and it's not too crowded oftentimes, and not as compared to other parts of the river.
Walmart Plus. It's Walmart plus free delivery. Because cooking.
All right, bear with me.
Fun than shopping.
I gotta hit the skip button. Okay.
All right, so let's go on to south of Highway 7. These red dots are just indicating places where you park. And you'll notice in the south area, you can see it bend and whatnot. And then those trails. Key thing here is the trail kind of end here. And if you want to bust some brush and get in here, sometimes a year, depending on the time of year, it'd be pretty tough to access that area. Other times it'll be readily accessible, especially when it comes wintertime, when the brush has kind of been dried up and not as much leaves and whatnot, so you can get to these areas. There's a lot of places to fish in this area where it's like waterfalls, pockets, big boulders in the water, but you can see it's deep and clear. There's a bend here, it slows down a little bit, and you'll see there's some open areas here that you can also fish as well. So keep that in mind if you're thinking fishing the south of Highway 7. Okay, going on to the next one. Let's go to Desperado Springs. So Desperado Springs is marked right here, just to the southern section or lower part of this map. There's the river. Okay, so there was a bend here in the previous one from the previous slide, and then it'll just kind of work its way down here, and you'll see a bunch of different runs and whatnot. We've not fished Desperado Springs in the past. We've just gotten word from different folks that they've gotten some good fishing there. Where we have...
Okay, just bear with me. Okay, it's coming back on. All right. Okay, just one word. We have fished Desperado Springs since we posted that video. It is a very good place to fish. The key there is look for the barrels. Where there's barrels, that's where they stocked in the past, these stocking points along the river. And we fished every one of those spots over the years now. There's a couple of favorites. In fact, I believe I have another video that talks about walking up that area. So keep that in your back pocket if you want to get away from the crowds over there that are by the low water crossing, used crossing area, but you don't want to go all the way up to the catch and release section. You can definitely work the Desperado Springs area and kind of work those barrels as you walk up the river. Alrighty? Let's keep going.
In particular is this area, which is it's like a campground area and then readily accessing the river here. And what we always like about this area here is it reminds us of the lower Mountain Fork, Beaver's Bend. It's very rocky formations and whatnot, and you kind of hop through the rocks and get to the different runs and pools and try your luck at getting a fish or two.
And one thing to take away from this is if you notice where the white water and these different pockets or channels are, it's a small section, but I was surprised. I was fishing this particular location back in February, March time frame, and a lot of the fish I was catching was basically maybe a form of urine nymphing, where I was just letting the fly run through the white water and setting the hook when I had that indication of a strike. So keep that in your back pocket if you're going to be fishing this area just north of the campground. Okay?
All right, let's go on to the next slide. And this is Desperado Springs, a little closer look. So here's that parking area. And here's a little trail that gets you here, down over here.
Okay, and speaking of that parking area, you know you're on the right track is you're going to go up on a high incline to get to that parking area. It's going to be like you're going to be driving along, and you can either go to your right and it'll take you to the one campground, or go to your left and start immediately going uphill. And when you get to the top, do a little curve, there'll be that parking area. And that is that section that I'm describing here.
Not sure if you can actually go here. Since
yes,
we've
you can.
Here. Again, we've taken word from other folks that they've done really well in this area. And what we kind of has us interested, maybe we'll give it a season, is you got the this area here, some rocks and outcropping.
Everything here, I posted this before going up there and fishing this section. I've now fished this one easily for the past, I'd say 5 to 6 years. I kind of tend to go there more often than not because it's less crowded. Okay? Let's keep going.
Through the river, get up on these spots here and start working different areas. So this is a very promising area to fish. Okay, so here's used crossing. Big thing about used crossing, a lot of parking, a lot of camping areas, as well as it does get crowded more often than not compared to other places, but it does have an ease of access. So thing to keep in mind, here is Desperado Springs. This is the end of the Blue River proper when it comes to accessibility of public lands. And then over here is the used crossing area itself. So it's a low water crossing. You can actually drive across it, and there's some camping areas where you can camp over here. But most folks will be camping in this main campground by the crossing itself, further up by the the road from the main crossing or lower water crossing to another camp area that we just mentioned. And then there's different places along this lower area of the river where you can park pretty close to the river. There's some high banks here, so you do park up the bank and you can camp there, but then you kind of work your way down to the river and fish this area here in that lower area. All right, so let's take a little bit closer look at Hughes Crossing. Okay, so north of Hughes Crossing, we were mentioning that campground that's further north. So it's just south of Desperado Springs, but north of the lower water crossing. So it's right here. This is that camping area. And you can see all these different runs and whatnot that you're going to work. When we were there, a lot of the greenery was gone. And water was actually running pretty good. So that we did have our wading sticks and whatnot and working these different pockets here to fish on the rocks itself. So I think in the playlist, you'll probably see some video of this this trip, or when we hit this area. All right.
What do the videos sound like? Go to artlist.io and get the best music.
Okay,
and
bear
sound
with me.
effects.
You got these, well, commercials while you're having to restream these, so bear with me. We'll just kind of skip that one and take us back again. Okay, we're back.
And this is used crossing itself, the lower water crossing. This is at actual campground itself, near the lower water crossing. And you can actually drive across this at times, just be careful. And this is the key area to work all along this area here. And of course, you got the end of the area that you can fish, but public access is right about here. It's actually, I believe it's a camping area as well. So we've got more details on use crossing in that article that we posted on Hub Pages way back when. Give some really good insight as to some potential areas to hit. It does get crowded at times. It is a popular area because of the ease of access. I think there's some disabled access pier or like outcropping area where you can.
Okay, and just to call out some particular things in this particular diagram, in the article it'll just reference some areas along used crossing. And what I would say is over the years, let's see, the sandbar is still there, but it's kind of shifted a little bit more to the middle versus closer to one side of the river. However, if you want to access it, just make sure you have some chest waders and that you fish it on the far side bank and enter there. Just look for the trail. You'll see different trails that are headed right into the water. That's your indication of how to access that sandbar. And do make sure that you have some chest waders, because the water's going to come up above your hip, and if you're short like me, it's going to come up well past your hip, to get there. And then once you are on the sandbar, it'll come up and it'll stay more like about thigh level. And from there, you could stay there all day and pretty much catch the stock trout throughout the day, working that area. I've known that some folks have caught and released upwards of 100 trout just standing on the sandbar and working it with something simple as a woolly bugger under a strike indicator. Okay, and if you're out there with the Ultralight Baitcaster, aka Bait Finesse BFS Fishing, the Super Duper, and well, I got the Scorpion, Shimano BFS XG, as well as the Corrado now. Either one of those would work perfect over there as well. All right, let's shift back to the location video here. Bear with me.
Access it for those that have some issues and whatnot with accessing the river and whatnot. But the key here is this is one of the most popular areas of the area to fish, and I believe this is where they host the Trout Derby each Veterans Day as well as President's Day weekend.
So there is a Trout Derby, Veterans Day weekend, President's Day weekend. I'm not sure. I think they had to hold off last year. I'm not sure what it is this year. Just check online about the derbies there. The big takeaway when it comes to these trout derbies is they do augment it with some nice sized trophy trout. I'm talking 3 to 5 pounders, and well, they are fun to catch when you do hook into one. All right.
It'll be kind of headquartered here, and then folks go around and start fishing and come back with some bruisers. So do keep that in mind when we're talking fishing the Blue River.
And here, what I did was I took one of my underwater cameras, just threw it at my feet, and this is me standing on a rock, and it's just a few feet away from there. I was able to capture these trout that are going by, these bass that are going by, and bottom line, well, you got to be careful where you step, because those trout can be as close to by your feet. So step lightly and be ready to fish as close as to just under your rod.
All right, so here's that infographic again. You got some details there, so you can take a look at it, give yourself some insight as to what the area looks like. So do check it out. And then for those that stayed with us, we do have a bonus. Here's a near deer giveaway. This is one that has been a very...
Okay, it's been a while since we've done these giveaways. We used to do this way back, and then we found out that's part of doing some raffle, and there's some rules for that. So we stopped doing it. But in this case, what I am showing you is it's the olive near deer. It is a fishing fly that I learned from a fishing guide here in the local area here, Dallas-Fort Worth, but he also guides up in Oklahoma. And it comes from a variant of the John Deere fly that is used up in Bennett Springs for trout. And it's called the near deer because it's very similar to the John Deere fly, except it's tied more like a woolly bugger pattern. The key takeaway with that is with the John Deere fly, it's got a little small short tail. It's a little jig fly nymph thing that is less than the first digit of your pointing finger. The near deer expands on that, adds a little bit more tail, gives it a palmer as well as dry fly variant of the hackle, and you fish it pretty much like an olive woolly bugger. The difference is the orientation. One is more fished vertical because of the jig fly orientation, versus on the woolly bugger it kind of hangs more at an angle or at the not the horizontal, but more of a angle, if not the vertical. And that's just an orientation of the way the jig fly is tied. So anyways, I'm hoping you guys have any questions. I kind of opened up things. I'm trying to use this new format where I'm able to pull some old videos and bring them up here. Looks like Bryce said howdy. Hi, Bryce. Glad you were able to join us today. While we're waiting for some other things, let me see if I can find out some more. Because initially we were going to open this up to a Q&A talking about question and answer about ultralight bait casting and some of the things that I like using when it comes to fishing for the trout up at the Blue River. And in fact, I got time. Looks like we got one person on right now, but I've had it before where there's one, there's none, there's hundreds on the live stream. But anyways, I'll still talk fishing regardless if anyone's there or not. So anyways, since we're talking the theme of ultralight bait casting specifically for the Blue River trout, let me go grab some equipment here and I can describe some of the things that that I have. Okay, I'm back on. Okay, so this first one, in some of the videos you'll see I was using the Shimano Corrado BFSXG, but I was using a yellow rod, and that is the Bass Pro Shop Microlight fiberglass rod. Very, very, I'd say slow action, flippy rod. Like you can whip it and the rod tip just bends like crazy. What's nice about that is it definitely helps when you're casting some of these ultralight lures and giving that little whippy action at the tail end to get that lure going. All right. With the Shimano Corrado, or correction, with the Shimano Scorpion, I consistently cast the 1/16 ounce lures, no problem. I did, at least this past summer, late summer, I did run to a situation where the the fish weren't hitting the inline spinners. So I switched out and I put on a trout magnet. And what I learned from that is, yes, this will cast the trout magnet, all right? But you, instead of releasing where you normally would, let's say just slightly in front of you and releasing that the lure on the cast, I was ending up having it released basically at the 90 to get it to go where I wanted to ahead of me. Okay, so I wouldn't say this is good for casting a trout magnet, a 1 gram lure, but 1/16 ounce, this is not a problem. You can cast all day with it. Just educate your thumb, get some practice in before the trout season starts, and well, do like I've been doing. Hit up some of these local ponds for bass and bluegill, and just kind of up your mojo in preparation for when you're out there on a road trip trying to hit a trout or two. Okay, and then similar to that, I got the Shimano Corrado. Okay, and I've been happy with this one, but I've mainly been using it for, well, in this case, casting white bass as well as some bass and bluegill. And I mainly use this one in preparation for fishing some live bait under the lights when I hit the Texas coast on one of the piers that I like fishing. Okay, I bought this on a whim. It's on a ugly stick, 7 foot. I've had really good success with this, catching some nice sized catfish on 6-pound test, as well as a nice bass or two with this. And I'm pretty certain it can handle a speckled trout no problem. Would I take it for some stalker trout? Yes, I would. Just the 7 foot kind of throws me. I tend to do more side casting. So when I'm fishing ultralight, bait casting gear, BFS gear and whatnot, I tend to go with your smaller size gear. All right. Anyhow, any questions there on the ultralight bait casting? There is several videos I put out where I am fishing a 1 gram trout magnet in the more recent term, and that one is basically yours truly just prepping for the upcoming trout stocking season, because when it comes to ultralight bait casting for stalker trout, I tend to fall back on that combo. In this case, it's the Flight Feather Kingfisher BFS reel and the Handing Magical Ultralight rod that I've shown in several videos. And let me see if I can take you to one of them, give you an idea. And I think I posted some YouTube shorts here recently also, just to describe it. Okay, I think I got it right here. Okay, shorts. Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. Bear with me. Okay, right here.
Finger on a Handing Magico ultralight rod, and I've got a trout magnet. Okay, and the way I like fishing trout magnets is typically with just ultralight bait casting gear with no weight, nothing else, no floats, just this. And I like using a rod that's rated for, well, in this case, 1 to 4 pounds and 1.5 to 9 grams. So this is a 1 gram trout magnet, but I just cast it no problem. You can see here, right there, no problem at all. Little bumpy area that might be promising. Let's see. See if we get a, oh yeah, he's on. Little bass. I saw him run with it. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice bass, little one on the trout magnet. Kingfisher on a Handing Magico.
Okay, and that again, that's the Kingfisher BFS reel. Key takeaway there is there's really 3 ways that I fish a trout magnet when I'm fishing the ultralight gear. One is I watch the line, I watch the lure, I feel for the strike. Okay. I watch the lure. I'll have polarized glasses. I'll be watching that lure going through the water. I see it disappear. I see some kind of flash. Set the hook. When in doubt, set the hook. The other thing is I watch the line. If I can't see the lure, it's too murky, too far, I'll then just watch the line. And similar to that is the line will be slack or it may be taut, but as I'm bringing it in, I'll see a shift, be to left or right, or it going slack versus tight or vice versa. Set the hook. When in doubt, set the hook. Okay? The other piece is feel. I will fish it based on feel. So as I'm reeling in, as I'm twitching it, I feel tension on the line, bang, I'll go ahead and set the hook again. So again, just to reiterate, the 3 ways I fish ultralight bait casting, specifically the trout magnet, which is a game getter for trout, as well as the local bass and bluegill in my area, is I watch the lure, I watch the line, I feel for the strike. Those are really the 3 ways that I fish a trout magnet. You can adjust the pattern. You can adjust the retrieve, be it a stop and go, cast it, let it sink down, or just do a steady retrieve. Try them all, and you will see which one eventually is the pattern for that particular day when the fish are striking. Okay. All right, at this point, any other questions, comments? Okay. All right, let me go look again and see if I can hook us up with another, maybe a short video of something else related to fishing ultralight bait casting style. Okay. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, bear with me. I think I've got one here. I've been doing kind of flip-flopping between fly fishing and ultralight bait casting. Okay. All right, and I have been using several particular flies that seem to be working really well. Oh, here's one. Let me shift.
And see if I can just get a nice steady retrieve and maybe get something lurking below the strike. And it looks really shallow. Really shallow. I can see bottom on for the most part of the pond here. Okay. All right, here's an open area. Let's give it a try. Okay. I'll just do a slow retrieve. Oh, something hit. Oh, yeah, he hit. There we go. Slow retrieve. Another little bluegill. All right. Nice size one. It's got his color.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. You can never have too much fun fishing a, what do you call it? Ultralight bait casting gear, right? Let's see, I've got another one. There's one in particular. Oh, here we go. This is just to show you that you can catch a sizable fish on 2-pound test ultralight bait casting style.
The kingfisher, flight feathered kingfisher, the one that can cast 1 gram trout magnets, but I'm going to try the Yazuri micro lure here. Got it on that Magic L, Handing Magic L ultralight rods, to 4.5 foot, 2-pound test line. So we're going really light, and we're gonna go try casting a few here and maybe catch a few on this micro crankbait. There's a hit. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Oh, he's taking out line. I'm gonna have to chase him. Shoot. 2-pound test, buddy. I said there was some bigger fish here, and I knew there was some bigger catfish as well as bass, so I guess this shows that there are some big catfish here. You can see that, maybe. Pretty big. 28, 30 inch. Well, he's gonna get bigger.
All right, and yeah, I caught that one and released it, I think about maybe 4 weeks ago. And that one I was using the Yuzuri Snap Bean, a little micro crankbait. In fact, I got a 3D printer here. I ended up printing up one trying to mimic it. And, well, I think I did mimic it, or at least came closer. It's a slightly bigger than the Yuzuri. But the problem that I had was I was fishing a particular pond that had a lot of that green stuff, so I wasn't able to fish it like I could. But next chance I get, I'd definitely be out there trying it again. All right. Anyone have any questions so far? At this point, I'm just kind of running through different videos from recent, just to show you the capabilities of the Ultralight Baitcaster, aka Bait Finesse Systems Fishing. All right. It's Ultralight Baitcasting is what I call it. Okay, so I'm just going to flip through here. Let's see. I did a bunch of live streams and whatnot, hitting different ponds. And then I think there was a couple, trying to find the shorts to just kind of pick things up so I don't bore y'all. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, this is the Shimano Corrado. Okay. Let's see. Hold up. Let me flip back. Okay. That's a little bit too long of a video. Okay. Right. Okay, bear with me. I'm trying to find something that can at least demo the use. Oh, okay, here's a good one. Okay, this one.
Shimano Scorpion BFS XG. We're using a tandem rig, spec rig that we've used many years ago, and here we are back on the coast trying it out. And there.
So in this case, I've got the Shimano Corrado. It's this one. Okay. Right here. I took it saltwater. And the good thing about the Shimano, oh, not Corrado, the Scorpion. Good thing about the Shimanos is both of these are rated for saltwater. Okay. And that's the main reason why I got them. And I took this one 3 years back or whatnot, fishing the lights with some tandem rigs, spec rigs, fishing under the lights here. And that's what that video is. It's just showing you that you can use ultralight bait casting gear, fishing salt water as well. All right. So let's go shift back real quick.
They're not specs, but they're sand trout, I think. And what I'm doing is I'm letting it sink, and then just kind of doing a little twitch. Kind of reminds me of fly fishing. Little twitch move, and you just keep working them over here in the lights. So far I've gotten that one and lost about 2 or 3 other ones. Did catch a really nice redfish earlier. Really nice, 41 inch. Had to use my bonus tag. Cool stuff. Yeah, Shimano Scorpion BFS XG.
All right, so bottom line, I'm using the spec rig. I'm doing a similar retrieve like I do when I am fishing the trout magnet. Little twitch. Hey, feel for that tension. And like I was saying, how do I fish trout magnet? Very similar. How do I fish other lures is watch the lure, watch the line, feel for the tension, if not the strike itself. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is just basically adjusting pattern-wise, slow, fast, let it sink, etc. Okay. All right. Any questions? I got the chat going. Doesn't look like we had much going on today. Hey, maybe it's hump day, Wednesday. Definitely understand it. Bear with me. I've got old school gear here, where I have to manually reset stuff. So if you haven't figured out, yeah, I have some camera gear, but I spend most of it on fishing gear instead of the camera. And so, like, I've got a, what is it, EOS Rebel T2i from about 15 plus years ago. Let's see. That's the camera I'm using currently, and it's this old school. If you want any focusing and bokeh effect, right there, you got to take your hand and make that adjustment. Okay, none of that fancy stuff here. In fact, well, one of those new fancy whatever cameras. Well, I could probably pick up 2, 3 more of these Shimano Corrados here. Oh yeah. So yeah, you know, it's one of these things. Do I get camera gear or do I get one of these guys? I'm getting one of these guys. And besides, video doesn't have to be perfect. What does have to be good is your audio. And so I do have some decent microphones. Right now I'm just using a little condenser mic up here. Initially, I've got some other microphone gear right here, like in this case right here. And in fact, I've got another camera up here that I have turned off, that when I'm doing some demo videos, I'll shift from different cameras so that you can see an up close shot of what I'm doing as well as a further shot. So there's a camera that's up here that I can give you a long range view of, or wider view of what I'm demoing. And then I'll just take an old GoPro and use that as a close-up camera right here to show you, in particular, the fly that I'm tying or the lure that I'm working through. Alrighty, any more here? I definitely have some time if you want to talk. Additionally, I do have other videos. I've got about 3,000 videos on the YouTube channel. I'm one of those ones that quantity, quality, whatever, I'm still going to post a video. All right. Okay. And over the years, my video editing has improved slightly. I could probably do better, but, well, I'd rather go fishing than editing a bunch of videos. All right. So anyways, I was talking about the Blue River. Questions and answers there concerning ultralight bait casting or just things in general with the Blue River. I would say if you're local to the area, Dallas, Fort Worth, in the Texas skies, as well as Oklahoma, if you have the opportunity to make it up there, they stock trout. They'll stock it weekly. If you follow the Blue River Public Hunting and Fishing page on Facebook, they will actually give you the specific day they've stocked, and they'll post it in Facebook. And usually after that, hey, that's a really good opportunity to catch a limited trout there. Just remember now, it's only 3 trout a day, and you do have to have a license, and you do have to tag your stringer with your customer number, which is on your license, and your name, and you can't share stringers. So if there's 2 of y'all, make sure you bring 2 stringers and make sure you tag them correctly. I think it was one year I was out there and I met the game warden, and I just asked him on a whim, what's the citation you give the most? And it was sort of neck and neck. One was the tagged stringer. The other one was going over your limit. So, hey, stick with the rules. You should be good to go. All right. Let me see if I can find another shorts video that may be of interest for those that want to do some ultralight bait casting, and then we'll close out the stream. Okay. Let's see. Let me hit the button. Shorts. Okay. I'll just flip through it randomly. Oh, here we go. Micro crankbaits. Let's try that one. Okay. Shift. Micro crankbaits.
Mobile live streaming. Setup I'm using is it's called a Tellison harness, neck harness. There we go. There we go. It's taking out line on me. I got the drag set for this 2-pound test line, and you can see, well, it's a pretty nice size one for this gear. Let's see. Bear with me. Go drop on the rocks here real quick. I gotta bring him in. Oh yeah. All right, let's get him here. Come on, Ghost Rider. All right. Taking out some line. Probably just bank them here in a moment. All right. All right. Come on. Come on.
And remember,
There
I'm
we
just
go.
using 2-pound tests.
All right, home slice. We gotcha. There we go. Your Missouri micro lure, micro crankbait right there. On the Flight Feather King, a little mobile live streaming.
And that's the same outing that I used at Missouri Snap Bean and caught that 28-inch trout. 2-pound test on ultralight bait casting gear. All right, good stuff. Let me grab something real quick and just give you a heads up as to some of the gear or the line that I like using. All right, so to spend a ton on the gear and then you fall back on some really expensive line and whatnot. Well, in my case, I use this Stren Mono. This is 4-pound. I also get it in 2 and 6. I got a whole big spool of 6-pound in the closet with my other tackle. It's the orange fluorescent one that you can see in daylight pretty well. But typically, I'll just get your standard Stren Mono. This is 4-pound. I'll go 2, 4, and 6. The 2 I'll typically use on the Flight Feather. The 4 and the 6. The 4 typically on the Shimanos. The 6 I'll typically use more on the Casking Zephyrs because there tends to, well, tolerance-wise, if I go with a 2 or a 4, a lot of times a line will come up under the spool and I'll have to spend some time taking that out. I do have to do that with the Flight Feather as well when I'm using 2-pound test, but not as much as the Casking Zephyr. So anyways, any questions there? Let me go grab the Casking Zephyrs. Okay, so I first got interested in the casking, or correction, ultralight bait casting, BFS fishing, and this is what got me started right here. The Casking Zephyr without the reel clicker right here, okay? And when I first got it, I put it on an old Berkeley lightning rod, used it until I picked up that yellow Bass Pro Shop Microlight fiberglass rod and used that for about a year or so. And then they came out with a reel clicker. So I was like, hey, I like the one with the reel clicker, so I went ahead and got that, okay? And there is a video where I put a custom high spool speed bearing on one of these, and someone called me out and says, oh, you cranked down the tension on this one and then you took out all the line. I forget the whole detail, but I was like, okay, whatever. I took both of these and just showed that you can still get a longer spinning rate with the high spool speed bearing versus the stock bearing, okay? And I think someone had called out on the rod. This is the microcast rod. It's one that you pick up from Shakespeare for spin casting. I had used it because I was waiting for my other ultralight rod to come in the mail that I would use it for. And he asked if you could cast a trout magnet using the Shakespeare spin casting rod with that Flight Feather Kingfisher. And I went ahead and did a video there. Yes, you can. It's doable, but I certainly like using the ultralight rod that I have it mounted on currently, that one I picked up from Amazon, that Handing Magic L. That one has a very thin tip and it's designed for those ultralights, right? This one is the lightning rod, even though it's rated for, let's see, got it right here. Where is it? Oh man, where did it? Oh, there it is. 4.5 foot, 1/8. It says 1/8 ounce. It handles 1/16, no problem. Okay, this is an old rod. It's worn down. You know, got it for free when I ordered 2 spools, not of this one, but of the Trilene when they just first came out in the little red box. You buy 2 spools of filler raw or reel or line. You get one of these. Just pay the shipping and handling costs, which was like $2. All right, so had that one for a while, and it's done really well. But anyways, Stretton mono. That's what I've been using for all my ultralight bait casting. I just been adjusting to 2 to 4 to 6 pound. Okay. All right. I think that's enough for today. I may have bored y'all. Let me do one more video to close this out, and then hey, maybe the next time we meet, it'll be another one of those mobile fishing live streams. Right now, I'm having to pre-record everything, meaning record it off the GoPro and then stream it later. Well, I used up a lot of my data plans, so they kind of winded me down on the speed, so I don't have enough data speed to stream directly from my Android phone. All right, so that's my workaround. Get it on the GoPro, transfer the file over, don't do any editing, just throw it up and then let it run, and then I just moderate the comments, because there's some pretty interesting comments in some cases, not fishing related, that you need to moderate. All right, so let me flip through here and see if I can find another video to close us out, ultralight bait casting style. Okay, I'm in the short section. Okay, I'll just pull up on it and see what pops up. I've been flip-flopping between fishing, fly fishing, and bait finesse style fishing. Okay. Okay. Wow, I didn't think I was doing that much fishing. Holy cow. I've been caught. Oops. My bad. All right. Okay. Easy live stream. Hands free. No. 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 Let's see what I got here. I'm coming up on it. Bear with me. Wow. I did a lot of fly fishing. Holy cow. I thought I was doing more ultralight bait casting. Okay, Miss Smalls. Out the box, 1 gram lure. Okay, let's go do this one. Okay, so here it is. Light feather. I got it kind of loose, and I got it set at 17 right now. So let's see how it casts. Oh yeah. This is the trout magnet I'm using. 1 gram, and this is the reel. And I got it dialed in at 17 for the break. 2 pound test. It's casting nicely. Now I just got to catch a fish. There he goes. There's the hit. Got him. Oh, he's putting a good fight. He's putting a good fight. It's a blue golly. Nice. Little blue golly. There. So here. All right. Well, I appreciate you joining tonight. And hopefully the next round I'll get you some live streaming, pre-recorded trips, be it ultralight bait casting or fly fishing. All right. All for now. Next time I'll catch y'all later. And good luck.